Well, the time to fix my car has arrived. My headlights stopped working, and my rear parking lights. It's all because of this multi-function lever. It's shorted out somewhere inside. I've never done this before, so I guess I'm going to find out exactly how to do this. It's usually recommended to take off the airbag and steering wheel, but I'm about working smart, not hard, so I'm going to try to do it without doing that. So the first thing I got to do is unhook the battery so the airbag doesn't blow up in my face. You know, it usually won't, but just in case. First thing I got to do is undo these 3 bolts underneath the steering column to remove these steering column covers so I can get at the actual switch. Which is right there. There should be a bolt on the top and 2 on the sides, I believe. So I'll just have to remove those, take them off, see where I can go from there. Well, it was only 2 bolts, and they were Torx 25 size bolts. I pried the shells in half. I just had to pull the tilt lever straight out. The little rubber pad for your keys when they're hanging from the ignition, which was right underneath the ignition switch. All I've got to do is take this bottom panel off. And to do that, I had to take that screw out there, right by the OBD2 port. Now there's just those little interior trim clips. I should just be able to pop this thing off, pull that bottom cover the rest of the way out, and then work on getting this top cover off. You can see one of the first bolts. It has a little yellow paint on it, and as you can see, it's right behind the steering wheel. But I think with a little ingenuity, can modify a tool and get that out of there. Now that I have that interior panel off, now I have to take this metal guard off. There's a bolt there, bolt there, and another one right underneath it, and one underneath the other one on the other side. So I'll take this panel off, then I'll be able to get this stupid thing off, and then it looks like it's going to be a pain in the butt to get that top part off because the ignition switch is there and it has to slide off through the side. So I might have to take this front dash panel off. I'm not going to do that. At least I'm not going to try, so let's see what I can do. Well, after a lot of careful prying, I finally got that stupid cover off. I didn't have to take that black panel off on the bottom. I shouldn't need to get access to the wires, it looks like, and we'll find out in a minute. But I did end up having to take this front piece off the dash, but it just popped off. It was no big deal. It's still hanging here. I didn't feel like taking that piece off right there just to get the end off over here, so I just got it hanging. So it's actually only 2 bolts that hold this thing on. There's the second one with the yellow paint on it, so I just got that one, and that other one in there with the yellow paint. So I'll go ahead and figure out how I'm going to get that one out and take them out, and it should be pretty straightforward. Well, she's off. That was actually easier than I thought it would be. All I did to get that other bolt off was I took a pair of vice grips with a 1/4 inch drive ratchet socket for a Torx 25. That's it. Only had to turn it about 2 full turns until it was loose enough to take out by hand, and that was it. So now all I got to do is there's a wire tie holding this wire harness to the airbag and other controls there. So I just have to snap that wire tie and unplug the wires down there, and I should be good to go. Well, that's it. All I had to do was unbolt this body harness, just bolt it in to there, and these 2 ends just came straight out. And then this was actually the worst part of it, trying to get this off. it goes on top on the side of the steering column. I'm not sure it's for the cruise control or if it's for neutral safety switch. I really don't know. But you had to pull this green clip out. It just popped out. It's just a safety retainer to keep this plugged in. That was it. Pulled it out through the inside there, out of that loom right there. And that's it. I'll go ahead and bolt the new one on. And before I put all the dash parts back on, I'll go ahead and hook the battery up and check it, make sure it's actually going to work right before I go ahead and put everything back together. So go ahead and put that on and go to the next step. Well, after looking at this a little more carefully, I noticed I missed a bolt, which is why it was a little tough to get off. I don't know if you can see, it's broken off right there. It's a 4mm screw. It's right by the ignition switch there. Yeah, so you have to get that with a long extension from underneath. I guess that's why I'm having a bit of a difficult time with that. Oh well, I only paid $500 for this car, so I wasn't as careful as I normally would be. So you might want to go looking for that 4mm bolt. Well, I got it in. I've got the covers on, but not bolted on. And I put the dash cover back on. It's no big deal. All I have to do is rip it off if I have a problem. I shouldn't. So let's see. So it's daytime, so I gotta pull this out. Sweet. Oh, they're working. Apparently my turn signals are too. Sweet. Well, success. I'll go ahead and finish fastening up the panels and we'll be good to go. The problem I was running into was the headlights just started randomly not working. I could sit there and push on the lever forward or sometimes turn the brakes on and it would turn the headlights on. But then all of a sudden it just stopped working. So that was a quick fix. It was only $70 from this place 1aauto.com. Pretty damn cheap. So yeah, it's not bad. Don't have to take the steering wheel off. That's nice. It took me about 2 hours. That's the first time I've ever done it, so if you're thinking about doing it, it's not that bad.